Astralis have hired Hunden. Yes, that Hunden. The heroic coach who got banned for cheating. Twice. Yeah, I mean, in the immortal words of ZywOo, I don't know.
I don't know.
You don't know, okay.
Okay, so it's a new year, which means it's time for the annual Hunden coaching drama. And boy, are we starting early this year. Last week, perennial Danish powerhouse Astralis announced that they'd hired former heroic coach Hunden as their head analyst. Was this surprising? I mean, in one sense, no, since there was a Dexerto report last August that he had been working for Astralis sort of off the books on account of his ESIC ban, which Astralis subsequently confirmed, claiming that he was a subcontractor who was making AIM Lab content with their players, or something. And yet, in another sense, it is f***ing staggering. Why? Because of how shameless it is. For those who don't know, Nikolai Hunden Petersen is a longtime Counter-Strike veteran, a former Source and CSGO pro. He represented the likes of Copenhagen Wolves and Mad Lions before taking up the coaching mantle in 2020 and signing on with the still nascent Heroic. And that's where the trouble began. You see, Hunden has had a bit of a fraught relationship with both the Esports Integrity Commission and, by all outward appearances, integrity in general. We've covered his scandals, yes, plural, extensively in Donami. So if you want the full story, check him out, but the gist of it is this. Bro, I gotta stop taking these on cam. Back in the summer of 2020, Hunden was among the first wave of coaches to get banned by ESIC, which in Hunden's case was for 12 months, later reduced to 8, for abusing the so-called spectator bug. Heroic suspended him, of course, and then in April of 2021, reinstated him, right as rumors began to spread that he might actually be tapped to be Zonic's replacement on Astralis. Hunden then came out and said that he wouldn't be renewing his contract with Heroic, and Heroic responded by saying that they would be taking legal action against him, I know, for leaking strategic information to a key competitor. God Hunden then responded by going all, "It, I'm burning this down," and saying, psych, certain members of Heroic's roster did in fact know about my use of the spectator bug and attempting to implicate them. ESIC was like, all right, this dude is very sus, and banned him for 2 entire years in light of said strat leaking, since, according to them, the team that he was leaking to was one that he was also in the process of negotiating a move to. I will give you 10 free 2020 RMR sticker capsules if you can guess who that team was. It was Astralis. At this point, it just turns into the Real Housewives of Global Offensive. Hunden releases evidence against Heroic's roster, which ESIC finds to be enough to hit Nico with the minor sanction, but essentially exonerates the rest of the squad on account of there being insufficient evidence. Heroic then went full Barbara Walters and released this raw tell-all video where they talked about how Capital was and tearfully told Hunden to stick it where even turning your digital vibrance up to 90 won't do a lick in terms of visibility. Shortly after, Hunden's aforementioned off-the-books working relationship with Astralis came to light, and about 5 months after that, ESIC just mysteriously unbans Hunden on account of constructive engagement between the two parties. Seriously, that's all we know. All right, Jesus, almost there. So fast forward to now, January 2022, Hunden is, in spite of all of this, hired in Tier 1 professional Counter-Strike to be the head analyst of none other than Astralis. Me, dude, I gotta start making content about League, dude. No one cheats in League. Like, they're all well-behaved dorks. Counter-Strike is so exhausting. All right, so what do we make of all of this? Well, I'll tell you this much. People across esports weren't exactly thrilled about this signing. And by that, I mean, people weren't just stunned, they were cheesed, man. Legitimately ticked off. This dude has a well-documented history of alleged and admitted wrongdoing in esports, and it does seem ostensibly ruinous for the very brand who supposedly helped enable some of it to sign him on in spite of it. There is, of course, reason to think that they could do well, since, as it happens, Hunden and Glaive go like way back. Our very own Josh Burry actually talked to Hunden about his admiration for Glaive like 2.5 years ago, way before this all started.
And the mind he had about CS was like
totally above everyone else. Like, I actually thought he was smarter than me from day one. He was 14 years old, I guess. And the way he was thinking about the game, the way he approached the game was like just different from everyone else I played with. So the way Glaive did the things in game and stuff like that, I trusted him 100% every time we talked about CS and played CS together. Every time I needed a player or standing or something like that, I always called him to like come and play with me, see if you're motivated to play and if you like to still play the game. And I think I kept doing that for like 6 months or something like that, because we always needed a stand-in, and he was like, okay, I'm coming, I will show up and play the game, but I'm not motivated to join the team right now.
Will Hunden help revitalize Astralis from a strategic standpoint? I mean, I don't know. Does it matter? I honestly don't think anyone even cares at this point. Because truth be told, I don't have a ton to say beyond that. I know I'm cracking jokes and all, but even as I sit here delivering a literal news piece about this, I'm sort of at a loss for words. The reality is there's not much more to say beyond just, sort of sucks, man. I have nothing but respect for the Astralis roster and support staff, but this does just feel like a really tone-deaf signing that just spits in the face of everyone in the community. Maybe I'm overstating the point, but I don't think I am. In any case, if Hunden does end up engendering yet another proverbial funeral, and I really hope he doesn't, Lord knows, it'll be Astralis's. Do I think I could be a good coach? I like to mid-round call in CS, so I feel like I could be a good coach. Obviously, like, dedicate my literal life to, like, understanding high-level Counter-Strike. Yeah.
I was talking like the type of
Yeah, walk in tomorrow and be like, all right, boys, move over, Sonic. Yeah. ZywOo, go kill. Yeah.